I have AC, but down. I think we started. Yeah. Yes, Jenny. We are live,
Hello.
and it's a big subject. Power dynamics in relating to what? And the learning, the patterns of showing or handling power dynamics, how to behave in a scenario where power is centralized to one person. No, in a group when power is centralized to one person, and in a scenario where power is decentralized, everyone is equal power of relating. So group dynamics and how we learn it, also the power play governed by instinct, no, like banana between two monkeys.
Great analogy. Oh, jeez. You surprise me sometimes, you know that?
Power dynamics governed by instinct. No monkey you can say that are like, they are natural. Natural, we call them natural. So natural power dynamics in relating to instinct when it comes to food, when it comes to sex, when it comes to survival, no? And so what I see that it all starts to begin since the child is born. No, the weight of the child might be, when he starts to sense little bit, see maybe 3 kg, 4 kg, 5 kg. And the people who are taking care, they are 100 kg, 20 times, 10 to 20 times bigger in the volume and size. So for him, the first impression is, I am in a demon colony, first of all. Imagine, imagine if we have to, suppose we open our eyes and we found ourselves in a big bed, and the people who are coming to take care or talk, they are 20 times bigger than us. Even it's a baby face, but 20 times bigger, we will be first scared, no? To see the volume. It can crush. So the first baby recognition that I am in a colony of demon, and all my instinct has to be fulfilled by them. I am dependent, fully dependent.
Also, I think what affects it is if a baby cries and they're not attended to, there starts a frustration at a very
Yeah.
young
So
age.
the baby has to learn in the threat of survival, in the instinct of hunger, excretion. So any kind of I am helpless, and I need to develop a strategy to let them all work for me. This is the only way to survive.
Take care of me.
so, so, so child says the only way to survive that if all this demon starts to work for me. No, so child learns strategy to satisfy its instincts, domination, survival tricks, no? How to save oneself from this demon, dangerous, this demon, sweet, sweet candy, sweet uncle, sweet auntie, no? So they start to label it. The power dynamics, I say, it's in the cell. You see the animals, the moment big animals come, immediately there's a way of going down, succumbing to it, body language, going forward, no? The head going down, they are no more taller, they are prostrating on the ground, upside down, I am fully harmless. So child learns this strategy, to whom to become fully harmless, to whom to intimidating, to whom to blackmailing, no? So all this stage learning. And it's the first learning is to learn with power. People who have more power, more freedom, more strength, more intelligent, in every way they are more. I am dependent, but I need to develop a strategy to relating with authority and power. So this is the first, when child starts to learn in a cradle, power dynamics in religion. And it continues, the patterns, once the pattern is built up, it continues to the whole life. No, like you see, food sharing habits, the food serving habits, all the child learns, and same expectations starts to grow. I should be served like this, I should be fed like this. This is the right way. So all learning about instinct and with demons of a small child, no? 20 times bigger in every way, where the threat, the negativity is a complete threat to the life. Anyone will turn negative is harmful this way or that way. So child learns to relate with power, find its own ways, sometimes rebelling, sometimes succumbing, and it develops a pattern to grow. And the same pattern it carries out in his schooling and learning and keeps on learning until they meet somebody of us and say, forget about all what you have learned. Now what you want? We change everything completely. So now, up to you. Any live?
Well, I think words are really important because, and I told you I wanted to talk about that because you can put someone in a corner, a child, anyone, when you say something direct. But if you use the word feel, I feel what you said hurts my feelings. If you use the word feel, even with children, they react different than if you say, go take out the trash. So I think that your words have a lot to do with teaching. I know when my kids would say certain things, I'd say, do you really want to say that? And they go, what do you mean? I said, listen to what you're saying. Like, I'm so stupid. Do you really want to say that? Instead of saying, don't say that, I say, do you really want to say that? So they actually listen to it and listen to what they're saying. And I have my older kids. I had my daughter was here this morning and she was saying things, and I go, do you really want to say that? I cancel what you say because we can co-create realities by what we say too. It made me think about my grandson, a story where we went to the Dairy Queen, and he was probably four or five. I can't remember. Anyway, I got him an ice cream cone. And anyway, so I said, can I have a bite? And he said, no. And so I had this big discussion with him about sharing because he was the first child and he got everything he wanted because, parents have a tendency to do that. And he got mad and he threw the ice cream cone and he took off running. So I had to chase him. And I grabbed him and I set him down and I had a talk with him. And after that, he never had a problem with sharing. I told him how important it was. I said, you won't have any friends if you don't share. That's what we do in the world. We share everything. Anyway, so that you can really affect children if you explain it to them. Sometimes you got to chase them down and grab them. Anyway, yeah, it was interesting for me because I saw the shift in his consciousness after that.
In India, now it's no more a joint family. Before it used to be kind of a joint family. One family like 20 people, 30 people, 40 people could be in one big family. And in joint family, I've grown up in a joint family where, like, a family of 30, 40 people. So many uncles, so many aunts, and younger brother, sister. So there is so much variations in relating. So there is not only a contrast. In nuclear family, there is a contrast. Parents and the child. So child says, oh, big one, no, a small one. And in joint family, you see, oh, somebody 2 years older, 1 year, uncle. So in that scenario, child picks up the favorite ones, which are sweets, candy giving people. So he has a full freedom to judge, oh, this is rewarding people, they are punishing people. No, they will give me discipline, some kind of task. Somewhere they will not allow my freedom, restrict my freedom somewhere. And some are moderate, they give some teachings, also sweets. Some are don't care about, they only sweet whatever you do. No? So in that scenario, you learn to perceive different people and learn to be with the sweet ones. You always have a choice if you
Mhm.
have a big. But in the nuclear family, you don't have a choice. Child doesn't have a choice. It has only mother and father, basically. So, and seeing the child perceives this is the reality. Whatever it sees for the child, it's the truth, is the reality. So, child can only develop patterns of relating and dynamics between their parents. It did not observe and relate with other, many other people. So, emotional intelligence, or this kind of person who has lived and interacted in childhood with many women, many men, many personality, their emotional intelligence is high. No, they are buffer zone. They know that person can be surprising. No, one can be very sweet, another can be very not sweet, and same person mood can change. So the mind is ready to combat and correlate and adjust with the negative and positive play in power.
Mhm.
So yeah,
It has a choice. They have a choice,
yeah,
is
they
what
have
you're
a
saying.
choice. Now they don't have a choice.
Well, when I look back at when I was raising my children, I had lots of people coming to my house all the time,
Mm,
and diversity, Oriental, African American. So they had a real diverse environment. In fact, my one daughter always complained. She said, our house was like an open door. People were coming in and out all the time. And I think that's important too. Like you're
yeah,
saying, is that they have to deal with different personalities and different energies around you. So, yeah, I agree with that completely. That was kind of neat. You had 40 people. You must have been spoiled rotten.
yeah, yes, we're fully spoiled, like fully pampered child in the early
That's
age.
great, though. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I remember, yes, so now for me, very easy to communicate different kind of people, no?
right.
Like they relate to this auntie, no, that auntie, suddenly behavior matching, no? And the logic patterns, the way of arguments, and some similarity gives you trust. No, like if you say, oh, she looks like my sister. So a kind of trust develops already. A similarity,
Mhm.
recognition of similarity in your past of something, the person is no more a stranger. Something you already know, no?
Mhm.
So because more the stranger, more the defense mechanism begins to block danger. No, stranger means danger. For me, if we don't know anything, means we are afraid. No, like in the room, anybody coming to your room right now, you are not afraid if you know. And suddenly a stranger comes which you have never seen, you will be first thing afraid and attack or defense, do something. No? So if the child is exposed to relate with different age group, different personality, like at least, yeah, 30, 40 people, 50 people, or 100 people to interact. So it's emotional intelligence will develop a lot, and person will be more friendly, more communicative.
Don't you think that like preschool and all of, and that helps with that? Because they have to go to preschool and be around different kids and different, because that's pretty prevalent here in the States of going
I
to
like,
preschool.
when I was in Pondicherry, I was observing their school patterns in Shri Aurobindo. So in the beginning, when children are small, like 2, 3, like pre, before the class, no preparation kind of. So there, yeah, 3. So there, the schools, they are not teaching them something to cram or learn or memorize, but teaching them, oh, this is the play house. Every child goes, picks up its toys from the certain place, explores the toys, and then picks and puts the toys back to the same place. So only teaching discipline, handling toys, keeping the toys properly from where you just discipline, eating on time, sleeping on time. So this kind of, I like this way of, like, not a burden that you need to complete a task, but a kind of proper disciplined way of socialization.
Structure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
structure socialization. Yet there is a drawback also. Children lose some creativity because they become a stereotype. No, if you do maximum, like Germany, their children need a proper way to play. They can't think of alternative. If I need,
Their creative juices, yeah.
yeah, they lose alternative way of thinking. Only stereotype thinking that if I want to play, there should be certain things, then this, then that, like a function. And on the contrary, when we should leave the children open, no, and let them explore how they will evolve the rules. Automatically, someone become boss. Somebody will start to formulate rules and regulation. This is how to play. So they learn the power dynamics. We can expose to them in a situation and just let them free. They will automatically start to create hierarchy. The big ones, the boss will become the boss. The some intelligent one, they try to find their role in a group dynamic.
Well, and that's for the teacher to see that. I started a cultural arts program after school because for a while my kids went to a parochial school. And there was so I said, okay, we're going to do a sculpture and it can be anything. So each person picked something out. And so this one child who came from a very disciplining family said, well, what do I do? And I said, well, why don't you create an elephant in a tree with wings? And he looked at me like I was crazy. I said, you can do anything you want. And he said, well, just tell me what to do. And he could not visualize and be creative because of the dominance in his family, because they lived right next door to me. So I knew who they were. And then I had another one in the class that kept acting out. So I made him the leader in the class to make sure everybody was doing their work, to go around and check him, and then to took care of the problem because he wanted to be in a leadership position. So I think it's important for people to be able to observe the situation and know how to direct or support the kids in their own way. So he ended up, the one child, he did draw up something that was kind of abstract, but it's the first time anybody ever gave him permission, especially in a parochial school, too, which a lot of parents wouldn't even let their kids come because I was kind of radical.
I was also listening to one teacher. He was teaching English to tribal children, which cannot even properly speak Hindi, the national language. Mostly they're in dialect and struggling. And he started to teach English. So in classical way, teacher will come, sit little bit high or stand, and there
Yeah.
should be pin drop silence. Then he will take the textbook, write the date and the day, start the exercise. It's like a formal way of teaching. And this man experimented. He said, break all the rules and shout or scream the sentence rather than cramming it. No, he goes, I go, no, like this kind of grammar. And they say, I go. So they say, you can sit over the bench and shout, I go. And then he said, no, like this way, he give complete freedom and give exercises, the books, each one in the hand, and everyone was free to speak any sentence in English. No? So before they were like, oh, with out of fear, we need to cram, we write to in the exercise book. They become freely. So some started singing the sentence, some started shouting about it, some sit over the bench, some started doing this way and speaking about it. So, and the miracle, the learning worked. They all could remember. And with deep neuron learning, with emotions,
We're
and
having fun.
language is not a foreign language. It starts to become language of neurons. It started to synchronize with the native language. So what I say that yes, teachers should also be thinking out of the box. It's more responsibility to the teachers that they should think about their teaching methodology. Not only authoritarian, oh, I am the boss, you are this, you do that. Like treat them like a robotic way of military discipline, or giving them, now USA is giving them freedom. You can sit, put your legs over the bench and sit like this and keep on listening. In India was not. So I think we should always be ready to be experimentative in teaching methodology. Rather than sticking to only a governed set of rules, of do's and don'ts, and we are the Holy Mother, uncontaminated, and you all are sinners. You must listen to us, no?
Yeah, well, when I was in parochial schools, I got in trouble all the time. And it got to the point where, because I would confront the teacher on what they were saying, not in a mean way, but just to shift the energy because it got so tense in the classrooms. And I go to the principal and he'd go, "What'd you do now, Janine?" And he'd start laughing because he respected me, but he also he was intuitive, is what I would say. And he knew I wasn't causing problems. I was what- I don't know the word I'm looking for. But yeah, so I got to know the principal really well in school.
Look, what we need to, in relating or learning the power dynamics in a way, like there could be a power dynamics between teacher and student. Teacher is infallible and he has to maintain the gravity of his knowledge. He doesn't have to show any weakness to the area he or she is teaching and firmly defend it of this point. And one is ignorant. Rather than we can make it in a way when children become very much interesting when they start teaching, particularly elders. when a child can teach you, he really feels proud. So, I mean, many ways we can experiment rather than just following a stereotype pattern of. And anyone who has succeeded, he must have succeeded in bringing some kind of innovation. I'm not saying that you radically change the whole system, no, but just
Just make it fun. Yeah.
yeah, just start changing like 1 hour and experimentative, and also giving the teachers to become an alternative thinking, restructure yourself, become highly creative because technology is changing so fast.
Oh, absolutely.
The way of teaching one has to be always fully innovative and creative. Otherwise, they will find AI more interesting than any teachers. You can't make a decision making. If they find, oh, it's more easy and less risky and less tension to ask something from AI rather than asking from my teacher.
I think that's already happening now.
It's already happening. So it's a challenge
Yeah.
to the teacher community. If you belong to teacher community, it's a highly challenge. The job is being replaced. If you are not innovating, not more entertaining, not more creative than this AI, then you are replaced. If you want to give the systematic information, now no teacher is needed to give a systematic information.
There's another thing that's at least over here in the States. Now, because of all the criminal activity and the shootings in the schools and stuff, now you can't even go in and volunteer to help. When my kids were young, I went in and I'd help out at the school, take treats. Now they won't even let you go into the classroom and help out unless you have a teaching degree and you're documented. And then when you go to the school, now I have to take my license and they have to scan my license in order to even go see my grandchildren. It's really sad how it's become where it's really hard for parents to interact with their children at the school, which I think is really
Well,
important.
it's if you grow rich, your security goes high. The more living standard will go high, more rich you will become, more you need to more and more you need to spend on security.
Protect yourself. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Well, I think I can see why they're doing it in the schools, but that's a whole nother
You
area we
see,
can go
this power is changing the way of relating to citizens. Right? This is not the case when third world country. Nobody cares who enters in the school anytime and start talking to their own child or even takes them home or they run away.
to that.
In poor country, in the villages, this situation is also no one cares who is coming, who is going. So yes, the power dynamics in relating. The USA is a powerful country. So more you becoming powerful, more you need to protect yourself because you have a lot to lose.
Anyway, that's not the way I think. We won't get into
And
politics. Ah,
and politics, I don't want to go, but just it came.
I
You
know, I
can't you
know.
can't avoid it. And now you say the child is learning politics or not. The only way to survive to this child is to learn politics.
Do
How
that.
how how keep on turning the situation always in favor of me? What is politics? Whatever the situation, nobody cares. It should be in favor of me. People dying, it should be in favor of me, let them die. People live laughing in favor of me, let them laugh. Dancing in favor of me, but not in favor of me, worshipping, even doing anything not in favor of me. No. This child learns since the very beginning. This is the whole politics. Whatever the situation, keep on turning in favor of you. Doesn't matter if it is a war, if it is a peace, if it is a competition, it's a science or art, doesn't matter. Whatever is happening, just keep on turning it in a way that situation is in favor of you. Any energy coming to me, powerful, not powerful, it should turn in favor of me. This is the whole politics.
Well, and so, I find that people don't step up unless it affects them in a negative way. Exactly
Yeah.
what you're saying. So, when people start having to pay more taxes and we won't go into all that. Then all of a sudden they go down to the Capitol and they start complaining. But it
Same
wasn't until
like
it affected them.
until
Yeah.
when the child is threatened by a massive body, it
Yeah.
learns to
Same
retaliate or to complain.
analogy. Yeah.
Either it goes to align with another superpower, the parents, or parents they think later. When we were children, we were not even thinking of parents. We are adjusting powers in the category. We know that somebody is higher than this person.
Hmm.
So anything happens, I go and complain, no, to your higher authority, to your younger brother, to your uncle, or someone like this. So any situation coming, there is when comes a threat of survival, child will retaliate. So child learns to retaliate, to find a sneaky way, to complain to some bigger authority. In this public scenario, if India has to attack Pakistan, it will first complain to someone, high authority. Please fix him. No, otherwise, this way. This we learn in childhood, no? One uncle is doing, and then we complain to another, which is higher authority, bigger.
Hmm.
Please fix him. You don't have the power. So it always the power, who has the power and how the power is distributed in a scenario. It in America has to attack, it doesn't have to ask anyone. But third world country, if they want to move, they need to align with superpower. So this we learn in very childhood. It's very simple. It's not. It looks like an international politics, and you should be highly intelligent to handle the world politics. But actually, this child who learned already when he was 3 year old is the same pattern is governing the whole world. Same, each person in power trying to turn each situation in favor of. If accident happens, then if soldiers dies, then if somehow they rescue one soldier out of 1 million, then no. So in all the way turning the politics and aligning with one power and the threatening with another superpowers. This is how it's going on in the whole world politics, but the pattern is the same. Somebody is threatening, somebody feeling the threat, alignment of the power and sense of security. Who
You
will
know,
protect me?
the sad part about that, Shri, is that I read an article. It takes 60 years when someone goes to war and fights. It takes 60 years for 3 generations for the family to heal from that. So, I mean, right after we have a war, it takes 60 years for the healing to go on from the man that went to war or woman and with the family dynamics. And so,
Three generations, minimum 3 generations.
yeah, it's
You
just
have to
tragic.
delete like great grandfather, and you don't
Uh-huh.
remember anything. That kind of memory, no? Very distant.
Yeah, so it's really tragic if people could really be conscious of the effects of.
But what about that religion or clan or sect where this death is continuous? Continuous. Like Jewish families. Continuous. It didn't stop after Second World War. It didn't stop and it's still continuing. No? And what about children take is reality. So what about the children when they grow up, when they open their eyes and they see the bullets, they hearing of bombshells, and they grow up, they take arms, they start playing with the arms and fixing them when they're 3, 5. So for them, it's a reality. For them, it's just natural. No? So the environment for a child, he's an innocent child. Whatever their parents doing, their surroundings doing, oh, this is the way of living, I should also follow. I must survive. I should also become big. I should have power, and I also be free. So a child seeing its path, is sensing the misery, less free, less power, less resources, less body. So child starts to grow more. Everything child wants more and more and more and more. How much? We don't know. So
It's interesting.
this program which come in the out of panic, survival, or falling in love, then they are symbiosis with the authority, they fall in love. If they say, oh, somebody powerful, how they behave, how they act, how they judge, how they walk, they copy. So the power dynamics is very early. Learning politics and play is very early, and we carry the same. More and more and more, and it never ends, not ending, unless somebody consciously sees the program inculcated. The desire to have more and more, doesn't matter what, anything. More body, more bigger, more and more and more. Out of panic and survival fear, this idea came more. I should have everything, more energy. And there is no limit of it, more.
You
But
know,
this,
that's interesting.
yeah,
So it was interesting because my mother was raised very poor. And I mean, I think she used it. They had a little bed for her in the dining room of their small house. And as she grew up, I mean, when I was born, my dad was a farmer. And so, because she didn't have anything when she was young, beautiful things were really important to her, but she had multiples of everything, multiple lamps, multiple big clocks, multiple everything. So that pattern from having lack went into her whole life. And it's not a bad thing, but I'm just saying it's interesting what you're saying is that the environment that we start from affects the whole dynamics unless somebody moves out of that and comes into a consciousness
unless you
that
sit
says,
down somewhere and start to think where this will end.
exactly. And when is enough enough?
Yeah, yeah,
When is it enough?
where is
You
enough?
know, I've asked
Yeah.
my friends that you know, because this friend of mine works double two full-time jobs. And I looked at her and she came from a poor family over in a foreign country. I won't mention her name. And she works and works and works. And so, you know, now she's talking about the stock market and how she's losing money because of Trump in the stock market. And I'm like, when is enough enough? I mean, if if I'll never jump out of a window because it was funny. I was with a bunch of my friends and they were talking about their wills and how, you know, yes, my husband and I worked this out. And the single ones, yeah, I've created a will. And they go, Janine, have you created a will? And I go, no, I don't have anything. So why would I create a will? It's like, I don't have to worry about any of that, you know? So it's a free feeling when you're not attached to having more. That's a good analogy. Have what you want, have your aspirations, but be happy right where you're at.
Well, in India, we have the highest value given to our parigrah, this out of five oath. But it's for the sannyasins, not for
For
the,
what?
like, and we have like truthfulness,
Yes.
non-violence, celibacy, non-stealing, and non-hoarding, the five qualities. For a spiritual path, people who are on the path of spirituality. and the people who are sannyasins, like kind of monk paths, they are having this.
Awesome.
But also, people in India, some are householders, they also practice this. Should be a limit, how much we should hold, how much we should, how many clothes you need, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There should be limit, how many cars, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no, 6. So you should put a limit according to your work and use of it. You should have resources in order to express your creativity.
Yes. Well, I believe that everything's abundant, so whatever you want there's nothing wrong with having things. But it's when it becomes it owns you.
Yeah,
You know
if
what I
you are
mean?
not, if the satisfaction is not arising,
Right.
more you are having, more you are becoming dissatisfied. It's a vicious circle of the mind that will suck all the energy because you are gaining nothing. More you are earning, more you are stressed, more you are tense, more you are afraid to lose that, whatever you have. The risk of losing that is also increasing. And so there is no satisfaction. Because more,
Built on
if,
fear.
yeah, if you are on the road, suppose if you have one car and you are 10% happy, two car 20% happy, three car 30. So in 10 car you should reach 100%, but it's not working. You have it's a strange. One car, a lot of satisfaction. Second car, it's getting less and less. When you have 10 car, you are less satisfied than you are more satisfied when you are having the first car. So
I gotta tell you about
if
this.
satisfaction isn't rising, you are becoming more and more satisfied, having more and more. Yes, it's not a vicious circle. But vicious circle is you are having more and more, and satisfaction is going in reverse direction. This is a vicious circle.
They did a research where they gave a bunch of people $300. Just gave it to them. And they said, you can spend it any way you want. Then they went back and they interviewed the people. And the ones that enjoyed the money the most were the ones that gave part of it away
Mm.
and helped someone. That
Mm.
gave them a greater feeling than just taking it for themselves. So I thought that was an interesting study.
Yeah. If you really
Yeah.
want to, yes, because of the opening of the heart, like if you are moving anywhere, you're moving from A to B. I'm going to move from here to down the steps, A to B. So when I'm thinking of going A to B, and on this place, I have nothing to offer. I have no song to sing on the way. I am not happy. Then it's a drag. The life is a drag. So any point, if you want to spend money, and if you give a little bit of someone, then your heart becomes open. Like in temple, or we say in temple or in guru, the place of your master, or temple or church or mosque. Anyway, I mean, I'm just giving analogy. But in India, it's the holy places, it says temple and the guru's ashram. When you are going, you must take something, even a flower, even a candle, even an incense. Carry something. If you go to temple, even 100 rupees, some prasad, you must carry something. When you carry something to offer, your heart is open. If you don't carry this and you go and ask, no, Jesus or whatever God give me, bread or this, it doesn't work. Your heart is closed. You are complaining about it. It's not a prayer. But even if you're going to church, you just bring one candle or one flower, whatever. So whatever your uh, religious place allows, no? Water, solely, whatever. So you carry something like I come to meet you, somebody coming to meet you. If, or you are going to meet someone. If you carry something, a sweet or gift, your heart will be open and you will be fully confident.
That's kind
No,
of a law of the universe.
yeah, you are confident about, and this will work. So if the person, if you have something, you always, if you offer to someone just without any expectation of return, anything you will get in return. Not like you give something to your friends and borrow the money. It's not borrowing. No, it's letting go fully. Your heart becomes open. And your
Very-
open heart, you can, whatever you do, you will be enjoying the most. You will be more sensitive about the phenomena. You will be more sensitive to the food. More, they will be more tasty. You will be more sensitive to observations of emotions, of discerning the difference between colors in a flower. And when your heart is closed, like, oh, selfishness, you are egocentric. You want all the attention to yourself. You want to fulfill, I am the first, I am the boss. Now I have a $300 to show to the waiter who I am.
But we can break that down. At least that's what I teach in my classes. The reason that that works is the universe is moving all the time. It's not solid. So when people start to hold their money and not give, that's when their appliances break down, they get health problems, all the different things happen because you're saying the universe is lack. So even like you said, even if you take something and share it, you're working with the universe. You give love, you get love. You give your time, people give their time. You give
Yeah.
money, money comes back to you. But at the same time, it's about giving. The more
In
you
Hindu
give, the more.
family, in the villages, when housewives or anyone cooking chapati, roti, so the first chapati, like when you begin, first one, when you cook it, always for the cow. That
Oh, the
first
cow
chapati,
first.
yeah, nobody eats in the family. First goes to the cow, and the last goes to the dog. Like if something remains, the last chapati, nobody will eat. It goes to dog. And first chapati, roti, bread, nobody will eat. It goes to cow. So one who is making, it's already heart is open. Because if you eat the first one, your greed is there. Your hunger. So your mind drifts of giving first and then taking. Egocentric mind taking first, and when you go for taking first, you will never have enough to give because you are going for more and more. So break this pattern of the mind that you should not grow in the vicious circle, having more and gaining less, satisfaction less. So here, even if you have less, maybe your hunger is of 6 chapati, but one you give to cow and one you give to dog, you eat 4, you will be more happy than person who eat all 6 and more healthy.
You know what? That's interesting because that's my mother was Irish. And whenever she would cook, you'd always cook more in case somebody would stop by. And then if you overcook, you share it with the neighbors. And
Mm.
I still do that. I overcook. And it's built into me from my childhood where you always have enough on hand if somebody stops by to share, or I take it to the neighbors and my kids. So you can do that with food too, or with anything actually.
No,
Yeah.
yes, I'm just saying that this kind of the practices, some
Right.
practices which has been followed, I don't know how many years since when, but since I was born, I was observing, no? Like,
That's a great thing.
yeah. So
That's really
anything
good.
they like, even they cook pakoda. So first, nobody eats. First goes outside of it. Like and even if something comes in your dishes, like a thali, so if you the first bite you keep aside, you become no, because in the first bite is your all instinct. The you are blind with instinct. Like if you are hungry, you are blind with instinct, nothing there. So, but when you take the first bite, you create a distance, you become aware, you become conscious of your act, and you start
That's
taming
really
your instinct. It helps you.
awesome.
You go beyond the instinct. You don't realize, but you start getting the power. Slowly, slowly, you develop the power to tame the instinct. So one day you are very hungry, and still you don't take the first bite. That day you will go beyond your instinct of hunger.
That's a great idea. Great, great, great. Do you do that?
Not all the time.
I think I'm going to start doing that. That's a
Some
great
before I used
idea.
to well, and when I was disciplined monk, I was doing it. No,
Oh,
everything,
I bet.
all this ritual. In the family, yes, already chapati is cooked. We give to cow anyway. No,
Yeah.
like or dog is not coming, but cat coming. So we don't throw food anyway. Like try find someone to, particularly animals. So this tradition is already continuing in many of the family, like first chapati to cow, last to dog. Because in India, dogs doesn't belong to one person. They are belonging to the whole colony. So everyone takes one chapati out and that becomes the food for the dog who are on the street,
So
the street dog.
nobody's starving. That's awesome. I
Yeah,
got a cute story for you.
okay. I am
So
all
I feed
yours.
so I feed my little furry and feather friends every day, right? And I ran out of food a week or so ago, and I couldn't get out. I was really busy, and so I went online. I googled what I could feed them, and I put peanut butter with some oats and stuff because you can't give them just peanut butter. And I set it out there. The next morning, I'm sitting at my computer, and it's right in front of the window. And as I'm sitting there, the bird flew up, grabbed onto the screen, and started yelling at me because it wanted food. Then it flew away and it came back, grabbed on the screen. I go, okay. So I got up, went to the store, bought some birdseed, came home and started feeding them. And the squirrels and the chipmunks, it was so cute because they are conscious, and they literally will talk to us. It was really cute.
No, with the food, if you give animals sense, if you give the animal food, they sense your attitude. You throw it,
Yes,
you give it with love. So they understand. If you give them with love, they feel safe. And in a way, they can come close to you and you will not harm them.
they do. Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They come
But
right
if
up
you
to me.
throw the food and you did not look at them or did not create communication with them, then they will not come to you next time. They take, grab, and run away. So when you interacted with them while feeding and they sense the non-violence in you and then get trust, then they will come back to you.
Yeah, I had my
Otherwise,
grandson.
they don't come back. These animals will not come back.
Yeah, we create a connection. But I have my grandson here. I watch him every Monday. And so we went out to feed the birds and the squirrels and stuff. So I said, no, we have to sit here. He's only 3. I said, we have to sit here and be really quiet and they'll come up. And all of a sudden, the squirrel came up and he started eating. And I said, now look at his hands because he was grabbing it and eating it. So I think it's really important with children that we integrate nature and animals with them also, because it had an effect on him because he sat there quietly, even though he was 3, and observed the squirrel. And the squirrel wasn't afraid because I go out there all the time. So it was cool. It was fun.
Yeah. So Jenny, we should sum up. We did not
Okay.
focus anywhere. We drifted here, there. But what we essentially talk about, that this power
How we do it?
dynamics, it begins since we start to breathe. No, we are
That's right.
we start to breathe, and power dynamics begins in relating with your own body, understanding. You are in a child in a situation, except fully dependent, fully miserable. All and everything is more and more powerful. Everything is unknown. No, there is no freedom. Boundaries and boundaries and boundaries. The area of influence very little. Whatsoever its child has an area of influence, is marriage going on, marriage party going on outside. So I am listening for bomb crackle. So, like what I'm repeating again, that the child is learning power dynamics since we start to breathe. And we begin in a situation, unless we find very loving utopia, everybody perfect, enlightened, loving person around us. But this is not the scenario. So
Nice
for the
dream.
for the child, all 20 times to 50 times bigger, no, bodies, more powerful. Some are taking care, some are enemy. And how to manipulate all them, these massive bodies, and psychologically to have power, to become center of attention, and to get what I want. The first thing, child has to learn to survive. This is the first way of relating to power. We learn. And then we grow up. Some people grow up, some people never grow up. They look grown up.
That's a fine line there
They look
about
aged.
growing up.
They,
What's growing
yeah.
up?
Growing up means, if you can recognize this, that you are in a vicious circle of more and more, whether you can tame your instinct or not, whether you are consciously want to go beyond, whether you want to operate through consciousness and intelligence, or you just want to operate governed by your instincts. Choice.
Well, the goal is to find peace within yourself. And
If you are
just
anyway confused, we are here to help you. And if you have any problems with power dynamics in relating, you can hire our brain with full body time, and we are there to support you. No? Whether you think, people think, we have to tell people that we are needed. No, otherwise they don't understand what is why we exist. No. So we are telling we are needed because we can resolve any issue relating to power dynamics, and learning conflict and truce, or just winning, and to get what you want without harming others. Only way we support, you get whatever you want without harming anybody else. So this will be our support to anybody suffering. Realize that he was born helpless and needs support now. We are here to support, no? So thank you very much. Let's see what comes next Wednesday.
knows, might be a surprise.
We have 5-6 topics I had written, no?
Okay, cool.
No, in your text, 5-6 I'll be
Yeah.
5'6". We can choose anyone.